Welcome back. So, every day we're learning more and more about COVID-19. And one thing, though, that we do know is that people who are older are at higher risk of developing symptoms. So, for those of us who have older parents, this is obviously a concern. Here to help us navigate our concerns with older parents is gerontological social worker Amy Dupree. Amy, welcome to the social. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here with you.
We're so happy you are, Amy, and want to get to this question because my parents haven't listened to me a lot during this time. And it's almost like I'm parenting my parents sometimes. So I'm wondering, why this is. Is it because maybe they've experienced hardships before, civil rights upheaval, for example, or wars? Is that why sometimes the older generation isn't listening or taking this as seriously as they should?
I hear this quite a bit, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure this is age related. First of all, as we all know, it's a changing landscape, right? What we knew 3 weeks ago versus what we knew 2 weeks ago versus today is so different. And of course, that's true for everybody, no matter what their age. But what we are seeing are people of all ages who are perhaps ignoring this. And those of us who still have aging parents, I don't, but I hear a real mixed bag on this. And some people are, like you, Marcy, very frustrated that their parents aren't listening. And my neighbor this morning told me her mom's been stellar. But I'll tell you what I think the real issue is for a lot of people, there are needs that are overriding the need of safety, that they're blocking that because of other needs. And what I mean by that are a lot of people are really struggling with loneliness and the sense of isolation. And for many people, that's so strong that they're not heeding the warnings the way that we would like them to. So we have to figure out how to help them with that, whether there are aging parents or not. But there are certainly specific ways we need to approach our parents on that.
What is the best way to communicate and get through to someone who might be stubborn and resistant?
I think one of the best things we can do is get into a certain mindset. Our approach matters on this. So what I mean by that is we have to recognize we're talking to adults, not to kids. And we have to recognize a lot of times, and Marcy, you said this, and it's a very common thing people say that we feel like we're parenting our parents. So it's getting into that mindset that these are adults who've lived a long time. And then we have to approach them from that standpoint. And we have to start by acknowledging to them that we see them as adults, that, we want you to know, I want you to know, Mom, that I know you've lived a lot of years and you don't need me to run your life for you. So by starting with something like that, we drop people's defensiveness. And then the next part is to share our feelings first and then the facts. So what I mean by this is to share how you're feeling, that you're scared. I'm scared because you're going out and this is why I'm scared. What our tendency is to want to throw to people all the facts of what we know. Here are the number of cases. Here's what we know about older people in this. And actually what's more effective is to just go right down to what is it that's impacting us? Why are we feeling scared about our parents going out? Because we don't want to lose them. Because I want you to be around for your grandkids. And this is really important to me. One of the things I can tell you is that often people will do things for people they love that they won't do for themselves. And then the next thing is to be curious and compassionate, not to be, kind of antagonistic or accusatory. So what I mean is to say, I'm wondering if you can tell me, what it is that's making you still want to go out at this time. Because if you're curious, you'll learn the reasons why people are going out. And then you can problem solve together once you know what it is that's driving that behavior.
When we're having these conversations with our parents or our grandparents, are there certain words that we should avoid using when describing the urgency of the situation?
One of the things that I think we should move out of our vocabulary is the word elderly. And we keep hearing this on the news, the elderly and the frail. Well, I got to tell you that I don't think I'm ever going to want to be identified as elderly and frail. Those words have a lot of stigma attached to them. So what we want to do is refer to people as older adults, not elderly. And the reason that is older adults is just a descriptive term. Elderly sounds, people can be 100 and still not see themselves as elderly, because to them, elderly sounds like something they don't want to be.
And you mentioned earlier, what about loneliness? You referred to the need for safety, of course, physically distancing, but there's keeping your physical being safe, but also the physical distancing can lead to loneliness. So how do we find the balance there?
One of the opportunities in this are some unique things we could do with our parents at this time. Often people will say, someday I'm going to record my parents' life story. I'm going to go back and ask them about their early years. And we can either do that recording just on our phone or writing it. This is a great opportunity to have conversations we never get the opportunity to have. And we can do this with our parents. We can have grandchildren involved. We can have our siblings involved. A project that gives someone a sense of purpose and meaning. And speaking of purpose and meaning, one thing we can encourage our parents to do is to reach out to other people they know who are alone, who may need a friendly voice. And finally, to get them to think about reaching out also across the generations, maybe to friends that they have lost over time. Most of us have moved or had jobs and switched jobs, and we had people we really liked and cared for at different parts of our life, and we lose connection with them, not because we don't like them, just because life gets busy and things change. These moments of quiet and these moments of unfortunately the loneliness also give us a chance to be able to reach out and to reconnect with people that we may have lost touch with that meant a lot in our lives. So just the whole goal here is, how do you fight the loneliness aspect? And of course, more and more contact with our parents by phone, by Zoom, if they're on the computer, if they're using FaceTime, whatever we can do to connect more regularly and in ways that let us see each other make a difference. I really think there's a huge difference between looking at someone and just hearing their voice. And if our parents are on devices that let us see them, let's let each other see each other. And can I add to that? You can take a page out of the book of my 17-year-old daughter, who often I'll walk in her room and she's not talking, and I'll start talking to her and she'll say, oh, I'm on the phone. And she's on FaceTime with a friend and they're just living their lives on FaceTime, doing homework, not even necessarily talking, but there's a sense of connection. And this is a great time to use those things.
Absolutely, it is. Amy, want to sneak one more question in because we're almost out of time. But how do older adults stay active in their homes at this time?
Great question. And I think what we can do is encourage them to do things like they used to do, just in a different way. So if they used to exercise in an exercise class, if they're on the computer, they can do that. Or if they still have a DVD, you could get them DVDs. Continue to exercise their mind. I love right now that museums are doing museum tours. They could learn something new if they wanted to, and have fun in whatever ways they have fun. So not everybody likes to do puzzles, but if somebody likes puzzles or crafts, there's opportunities there. So again, the idea of how do you stay busy in ways that have meaning for the person? And I just want to say, it's all about connect, connect, connect. We have to connect with each other. It's one of the greatest needs we have.
It's been wonderful connecting with you, Amy. Thank you for your insight and your compassion, and we hope you stay safe. And for the rest of you, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.